Welcome to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprofit.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and tonight we're talking Packers versus Bears opening game of the 2019 season. And that was fun, wasn't it?
Started out on fire.
Wow, what a game. So, I'll just say, before we get to the players, just people don't overreact. I just think there's going to be a lot of overreaction to this. For pretty much every player, I would say, except Allen Robinson. That's about the only bright spot here, I would say, in the entire game. I don't know what else there is. Allen Robinson was the bright spot. Everything else was not good, but just don't overreact. We'll get into strategy already, but hey, this is a time to buy low already if there's some people overreacting. So let's talk about the winning team, the Packers, who actually won 10-3 tonight.
This is what I'm going to say. This whole game, it just looked like week one. It looked rusty. It looked like neither of them really figured it out in the preseason. Aaron Rodgers will be fine. I 100% believe in that. Adams completely disappeared. He still got a touchdown. He didn't throw a pick like usual. 18 for 30. He didn't look like himself, but he was going against a very good, Bears attack that sacked him 5 times. He will be fine. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I think this is kind of the floor right here. And on top of that, he wasn't forced to actually take any chances, throw it down the field because the Bears just didn't score. So this was the worst possible scenario in order to see what Aaron Rodgers can do.
It really was. This was going to be a tough matchup on the road at the best defense in the league opening night. It was going to be tough. And they couldn't do anything because they couldn't get the ground game going. It made it tough on Rodgers. And every team's going to have a difficult time running against this Bears defense, and the Packers couldn't run. In turn, Rodgers really couldn't get anything going passing. At least, if this is the worst you're going to get, this is okay, I guess, right? It's okay. At least he got you 200 yards and a touchdown. At least there wasn't the picks. At least it wasn't 0. It's not good, obviously, but you had to know it was going to be tough. I would almost say, and even Aaron Jones, I saw that one coming a little bit there. I was hoping he would, look good and play well, but I guess the only thing I'll get out of this is I think he clearly is the back there. Jamal Williams did get some work, but Jamal Williams didn't do anything either.
No, he got 5 carries and had a grand total of 0 yards.
It's Jones' backfield. It'll look better. They're not playing the Bears every week. Only have to play the Bears one more time. It'll be better. Take advantage of the Jones owner out there that's freaking out if you can. You never know. I think the worst case in this entire game, which you hoped it would be better, is Davante Adams, really. 4 for 36. And it's disappointing. But all around is disappointing for the team and the offense. They won the game, so that's good. But Davante Adams he was built up this preseason, as the most consistent wide receiver you could get, right? He never let you down last year. And first game right off the bat, 4 for 36.
Yeah, a lot of love going his way. They did target him 8 times, which is, the silver lining. But they had his number, and it starts to make you wonder if, someone like a Julio Jones or a Hopkins, who, some people had over Adams, they actually might be helped out because they actually have a little more, threatening wide receivers playing along with them, where you have MVS, which actually did better than Adams today with 4 catches for 52 yards. Other than that, there wasn't anyone. Graham caught the touchdown, but it was ugly all the way around. Once again, I think this is one that you can just throw out. There's just little things to take away from it, and I agree with Craig. I think the big one to take away from this side of it is that even in a dirty game, Aaron Rodgers looked okay, and then Aaron Jones is by far the best back they have, and I think against almost any other defense, he will do just fine.
And like Jimmy Graham, I'll say something quick. Jimmy Graham, he got that touchdown. That is exactly what he's going to be all year. It's a boomer bust. It's the touchdown, or he's just not going to do much. I think that's pretty much what you got there. And Valdez-Scantling, though, he looks to be, Geronimo Allison he was out there. I know I saw him play, but you wouldn't know it from looking at the box score.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I thought that, obviously you just can't throw in the middle of the field on Chicago. I'm not really sure. I know he didn't have a whole lot of time to throw, but you think that would be the place to look.
How about the Bears side here? And Trubisky did not look good at all. He, that wasn't good. That was not a good performance from him. There was nothing there. I don't know. You like Trubisky, so is this it'll be fine kind of a thing? It's
no.
not a little more worrisome here.
Yeah, without doubt. I was hoping to see him take another step forward because last year he looked a lot better than he did today. But the reason why I think like Trubisky compared to Aaron Rodgers and the way they played, I'd tell you the truth, I don't even mind the interception at the end of the game. As far as the game went, he had to kind of force something. It was great that Amos actually was the one that intercepted him coming over from the Bears last year. But it was the fact that he got 45 attempts and some of these throws were just off. And he held the ball way too long. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers. His pressure came real quick. Trubisky was holding the ball. He was getting sacked the same amount of time as Aaron Rodgers. And okay, first of all, the Green Bay defense, much improved from last year. And that's great because they went out and they put a lot of money into this defense. That is very good to see that it paid off. But Trubisky actually helped him out. He just looked like he wasn't ready for the season to start, unfortunately. The only bright side with that is Allen Robinson, where when he went to Allen Robinson, he looked good. And actually his throws to the sideline were at least close. A lot of plays were caught but went out of bounds. I think he can turn that one around, but I still don't like Trubisky moving forward, because there's so many other quarterbacks you can go for. He just looked like a young QB.
And I was happy with the Robinson thing. He got 12 targets, 7 for 102. He clearly is Trubisky's number one target. And Anthony Miller was non-existent. Like, target.
That was another one. Him and Geronimo Allison both just disappeared.
Geronimo didn't even had 0 targets. Anthony Miller, at least I guess, had 1. But still, that was, he just wasn't. I just didn't even see him. He was. Obviously he played again, but wasn't involved at all. Even Taylor Gabriel had 5 targets. Mike Davis out of the backfield had 7. Tariq Cohen, he didn't put up huge numbers, but in a PPR setting, he's just good. He's going to be so safe and reliable in PPR. Standard, though, is another story. It's like he's one of those weird players where, PPR, you just got a safe player. Standard, you might not get anything.
Yeah. And the crazy part, too, is when you look at that, you kind of hit it on the head, like Taylor Gabriel with 2 catches. But other than that, in the top 5, like the other 3 are running backs that were catching it.
I say, I guess, this is the one guy I guess we haven't talked about, and I feel like this might be the most interesting player to most people that want to know what the heck happened, is David Montgomery.
By far, this is the biggest story of the game.
I can't say, I guess at the end of there the other day, I was like, maybe Montgomery goes off, because I didn't want to see it, really. We both, you even more than me in the rankings, downplayed David Montgomery. We were, I think, way down on him compared to most. You had him like 29th at one point. I don't know if you moved him up towards the end, but you had him quite ways down there. And we knew Cohen would stay involved, and he is. He's not going away. But Mike Davis is there too. He's not saying he's any good, but he's there.
Well, that's the hilarious part is if you look at the numbers, Mike, and I realized neither of them had a lot of carries, which is kind of crazy. The amount of carries that they did not have in a low-scoring game, I think is weird. But Mike Davis had 5 carries for 19 yards, 3.8 average. Montgomery had 6 carries for 18 yards, 3. So they pretty much had the same production, very similar. I think Montgomery did look better personally, but with a huge, but Mike Davis showed that he is a good all-around back. They put him in there at the end because you can run block. He can catch the ball too. He had 6 grabs. And really, if Montgomery didn't catch that one ball for 27 yards, which was his only target, he was absolutely non-existent. And I know a lot of the question today was Montgomery or Aaron Jones. It was very, very strong Montgomery, and I said I would take the risk and go Aaron Jones. At this point, I mean, didn't really matter.
I mean, what would it end up being? Montgomery would have ended up beating him slightly with 4.5 in standard to Jones's 3.9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, the crazy part, too, is Tariq Cohen, this is the one that I did not see. 8 receptions is wonderful as far as seeing that happen, only for 49 yards, but I think that can change. But they didn't give him one carry out of the backfield. That is bizarre as well. There's a lot of things that I just don't quite understand. The defense was good, but the offense was
I'll say
awful.
one thing. If this has nothing to do with the game, I guess it kind of has to do with the game, but it's more to show that I think I'm right on some.
Okay.
PPR sucks. So, Mike Davis. Mike Davis, reception-wise, receiving, he had 7.7 points in PPR tonight for receiving, plus his one. So he had 9.6 tonight in PPR. Mike Davis got 9.6 in PPR tonight. Yeah, that output really deserved 9.6, didn't it? That 6 catches for 17 yards is worth 7.7. Come on. I mean, come on. What is that? That 17 yards did nothing for the team, and you get 7.7 points in PPR for it? I mean, it's a joke to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is the perfect example of why that is a bad way to just
I'm still
score.
on the losing end of that battle. We are, for some reason. But, hey, whatever. It's looked upon as the archaic system standard.
I'll hold on to half point as long as, but no one will force me to full.
Right? Yeah. Jeez. But I'll just say, I don't think there's a lot to take away from this game. There's 2 things, I think. It's that Allen Robinson is good. I think he's back. I think he's healthy. And Mitch Trubisky, though, is not very good. And Mitch Trubisky will have good games, and he will be a good fantasy player a lot of times, but I don't think he's a very good quarterback right now yet. I don't know if he ever will be. I think he's okay. He's an average quarterback. He's not. But we'll see if it translates. It'll translate to some big fantasy games. But I mean, Green Bay. Maybe we'll look at this later and be like, "Oh, no big deal." Maybe Green Bay is that much improved on defense. We don't know a lot right now.
Right, and it very well could be. They looked very sharp. Well, I guess the last thing we can talk about really is, all right, we talked about what we think about Aaron Jones moving forward, Trubisky, Aaron Rodgers, and we talked about Montgomery, Davis, and Cohen. But moving forward, how do you see that, whatever they called it, the three-headed beast?
I still think over the course of the year, Montgomery will earn more of the work. He did look better to me. There was something about, there's something about him. The way he wouldn't go down very easy. And he looked better.
Yeah, his patience really was impressive. I think he will be better, but is this one of those that we're gonna have to wait until halfway through the season possibly, or is this gonna be he's gonna have one breakout game against a not good defense?
Break out at some point, but it's just, we've thought Aaron Jones has been a better running back forever too, and he's never really gotten that full opportunity. It's no guarantee, absolutely. So
if you took Montgomery in say the 3rd round or whatever, are you panicking right now?
I would slightly, not panic maybe, but I'd be worried. Just like, hey, maybe this isn't maybe I should have listened to Craig and Jeff and not drafted him in the 3rd round.
That's only a quiet pat on the back. We'll find out. It is only one game. It is definitely not the Thursday game I was hoping for. And we didn't learn near enough to make it worthwhile, but we learned a little bit. And I guess that's what is going to have to hold us off until Sunday.
And I know someone's going to come back at me and say, well, you told me to draft Aaron Jones in the 3rd round. He was worse. So.
Also true. Know what? They were going against the Bears.
I'll own
it.
I saw that one coming a little bit. I was a little worried, but hey. But Bears are good. Bears defense is good. Offense, not so much. But all right, I think that'll do it for our reaction. We'll be back. Back Sunday night with Week 1 NFL reaction to the Sunday games. See how everything plays out. It's going to be fun to see, first week of the season. We didn't expect this tonight the way it played out, but probably some surprises as well on Sunday. Talk to you guys then.